Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, guys, giving you more of the meta. So once again, I'm going to be using that Chicago Bears offense. Ran into a guy that basically started becoming very aggressive and started using a lot of man blitzes against me. And I'm going to show you how my offense, how I'll kind of adjust to what this guy's doing. I had difficulty throwing over the top of his coverage because his defensive backs are really, really fast. But you could still beat someone even if they're playing over the top coverage and have fast defensive backs. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this gameplay. So immediately this guy comes out of a 61, 43 front. He's got guys down here, and you got to anticipate that you're going to run into somebody that's going to try to throw, do a lot of aggressive man blitzes. I've got this guy out leveraged, so I like to do the little curl, and then the other route I like to do is to do the return, and I got a drag concept like this with this defense. So it's a very aggressive front. I've got 7 guys blocking. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of run this play, and my key is watching this defender. I'm going to watch this defender. If this defender floats up, then I'm going to go ahead and look to my progressions right here on the back side. So you can see how the guy floats up right there. So this guy, I'm out. I'm going to go back to the right side of the field, and I decided to go and throw underneath him. And I'm able to go ahead and pick up an easy 16-yard gainer off that particular play right there. So back at it now, I go ahead and jump into single back tight Y off flex, and I want to show you something. Nobody's over the center. Anytime I see nobody over the center, I'm going to go ahead and jump into a trap play, just because this play is just really, really good blocking. I choose to go ahead and motion this guy over. I'm going to go in motion, snap it right away, and you can see the blocking is just unbelievable right there. I'm able to pick up another 16 yards against this guy. So I'm just chewing away at this guy with this. Now I go with the backside run. Quick snap it, get really good pressure, or get really good blocking right here against this guy because he's out of position. This guy's completely out of position. You can see right here. I probably should have ran it wide, but you could see that one defender actually came out and played that run fit, so I just cut it back in. But I'm picking up 8 yards. So if you're picking up 8 yards on the ground, you can just keep running. So now this is where I think the guy actually gets a little bit more frustrated. He starts pressing things down a little bit, getting his defenders down in the box, and I go ahead and do the run once again. It gets to the outside, but you can see the pursuit angle is a little bit better, and so is this linebacker. So he gets me a 3rd and 1 situation. Presses once again right here. He's got everybody down in the box, and I take a shot. I'm going to take a shot up top. So no safety help. Nobody's over the help. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot up top, and I'm going to go ahead and layer this with a drag underneath, and I think I've got a deep comeback route of the backside. This is standard setup that I do with verticals. So it just kind of gives me an opportunity, but I'm anticipating he's going to blitz. He does. He sends basically a house. I had to get rid of the ball quick because his one defender was killing my tackle. So I just go ahead and just throw it right up, and his defensive back actually just gets in there. So that was just a yard longer. I probably would have got a touchdown out of that. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into another play right here, and I'm going to go ahead and just do. He's using a lot of aggressive man stuff, so I'm just going to do the RPO with the tight end flat, and you can see I'm able to go and pick up a big chunk of change underneath against this guy. So pick up another 1st down, and you can see how he's just getting really aggressive right now, what he's setting up. Now this is another play that I don't really show you guys a lot, but basically what it is you've got this hook curl. You got this guy clearing out. I've got a corner out of the backside, and really what I'm looking for is I'm just watching this area right here. If I got man-on-man coverage, I'm going to throw this curl. If the guys kind of float up and I don't have a gap right here, I'm going to go ahead and look to this little crossing route underneath, so it's very easy. And another thing too is if this defender follows, that means this corner is going to be open for me. This is just to clear out for me more than anything else. I don't throw that route at all. So we're going to set this up once again. These guys start blowing out, kind of exploding out. And this crossing route is underneath, but his user's kind of in the area. Let's see if the user chases. The user does chase, but because this guy kind of clears out, this guy's playing over the top coverage, I can hit this little curl route and pick up an easy 1st down, making his user completely useless in that play. And that's just what's cool about it. It's just a stock play. I'm going to quick snap it. So now I got really good leverage right here. I've got these guys that are leveraged off I've got a blocker and a blocker. These guys are slid over on this side of the field. I'm just going to go and quick snap it, and I misread the blocking. I'm anticipating his guy to scrape and get into the hole, and I'm going to try to go a little bit wide on this. But you'll see what happens is basically I get pickup blocking. So this tackle picked up the blocking. If I would have just went ahead and slid up, I would have been fine. But I chose to go wide, and his one guy actually comes off of my blocking and actually gets me right there for a minor gain. So that was not necessarily a good situation, but I did show him the direct snap, and that's just something that's going to keep him honest. So right here I go ahead and jump into a play that I like to use down the end zone, and really I'm just making this one read. And I go ahead and do a corner route because the stock corner route is really flat and these guys all get mixed up with each other. But if I redo the corner route, I get a little bit more depth. Now I want you to watch what he does on defense. This guy was using man coverage, but he was actually dropping defenders into seam flats or flats and stuff like that in this type of situation. So he's basically sending a couple guys out, but you could see these guys actually floating out against me, and he's got another defender that's kind of floating right here, and I'm able to go ahead and just pop this route right here. I didn't like that throw. I got off a little bit late. If I threw it a little bit earlier, just a split second earlier, I might have been able to rack that into the end zone. But I get into a 2nd and 2 situation right here. So go ahead, jump back into the RPO against this guy because he hasn't really shown any kind of defense for it. And I'm going to go ahead and hit that and actually get into the end zone. Now you'll see a little bit later on where this guy was using basically dropping zone coverages in the series. So you see in this big of a series and what he was doing with this. Now it's a single high safety. This means that this guy should be isolated. These guys are really far out. What I want to do is strict this guy up, and then I kind of give myself another layer underneath it for check down for the backside. This deep out takes a little bit longer to develop, so this guy can technically get out. If it's a hard flat, he can't technically get out and get out to that. If it was a quick out, where it's like 5 yards, I could throw that pretty much all day. But I wanted to get a little bit more depth, and I had a setup to basically go ahead and stretch the offense. So right here, you can see how this guy's actually kind of coming out, giving that passing lane to be. He cut it off. So I immediately come back to the concept that I've got a slant, and I've got a kind of a post going over the middle of the field. I check it down right here, right in front of this defender. I'm able to go ahead and pick up basically 9 yards. I think I know huddle. Now I go into verticals, and I'm going to essentially set up my vertical setup where I've got a deep comeback route, I've got this route, and I've got this route right here, and all I'm doing is watching this guy. If this guy follows, I'm popping this. If he kind of floats back, I'm going to look for these crossing routes over the middle of the field. So I'm just watching one person and kind of making my reads, see how he lets him go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and look underneath. Right there, I probably could have waited, but this guy was trailing, so actually popping it down to the drag underneath was just a better decision, and I'm able to get out of bounds to keep the clock rolling with 54 seconds. 54 seconds and a couple timeouts is plenty of time to 3 timeouts to basically move the ball down the field. Right here, I go ahead and jump into this particular play right here. I'm going to go and re-audible up the corner route to get a little bit more depth, and I'm going to watch right here. Probably the smartest thing for me to do is to streak up this one guy, but I chose not to do this. And this is a situation where he was actually dropping his one guy and playing just, the terminology is fag defense. The corner route is actually triple covered. I threw it anyways. The ball gets knocked out. I got lucky on that because he was playing man coverage fag defense, and it was not a good decision with that particular play right there. So now I go ahead and jump into shock option, streak up my one guy, and I'm going to go ahead and do a post stop on this side. I'm going to watch this defender right here and see what happens with him. If someone supports it, I can throw underneath, but really I want to get more yardage, so I'm going to basically look for this deep comeback route if the defender actually floats up and supports it. Let's see if I missed a read right here. Now, all right, so this guy kind of slid over, and you know, I might have been able to go ahead and hit that, but I like that stop play right there. So he might have been out of position, but he actually was kind of over the top. I think this guy was just doing some random man defenses and matching things up on the backside. So not a bad decision right there. Actually picked up another first down. I think I had to burn a timeout in this situation. So 44 seconds left. Need to get in field goal range, and I'm basically 10 yards away from that. Now I go and jump into this play right here where I've got a return route, but take a look at the leverage. These guys are inside leverage, meaning it's man coverage. So what I choose to do is I choose to do basically a deep comeback route, and if these guys follow and leave me one-on-one, I'm going to hit the deep comeback route and pick up an easy 15 yards against this guy because he's got inside leverage giving me the outside throw because he's playing cover 2. So right here you can see these guys are clear. You can see me actually throwing the ball right now, anticipating the comeback route. Be able to complete it and get out of bounds, not burn any kind of time right here. 39 seconds left in field goal range right now, and I'm actually doing really good against this type of situation. So go ahead and just hit him with a run because I have a couple timeouts to burn, and I figured he might be pass committing. You can see right here I pick up some more yards in this type of situation, and my goal is to try to get this clock down below 20 seconds before I score. And even if I get 3 points, I want to go ahead and make sure I get that clock down as much as possible. So right here, I think he took a timeout, anticipating to do this. And you can see he's pulling this one defender down. I've shown this guy the RPO, so I'm not going to jump into that again. So right here, I go ahead and jump into this. I go into this play right here. This is probably not a bad. This is a bad decision. I probably shouldn't have jumped into this play right here. Because he's got inside leverage. He's just playing man defense against me. This is where he's actually he starts dropping defensive ends. Now actually he blitzes against me right here. So if I would have been able to get the ball off a little bit better, I'd probably been a little bit better off right here. I just check it down because the blitz came in. I need to get rid of the ball. I was hoping I can actually go ahead and get some type of animation, broken tackle. You'll see me coming back to a broken tackle to actually go and do this. So now I jump into this particular play once again with the anticipation. He's playing man coverage. I'm going to do the corner with the tight end. This is my primary read. If this guy matches up, if he sticks down, I'm looking there. And look what happens with this particular play. I go in and snap it, but these dudes, there's like 3 guys falling back into coverage right here. This guy's kind of falling back into a hard flat, and he's only rushing 1, but run 1 against my 5 linemen gets a coverage sack against me. So that was just an amazing situation for him that his one guy was able to get past 5 blockers. So I go ahead and jump into let's see what play I jump into. I go into this play right here. And because he's been playing so much press coverage, I get a lucky break here right here, but I don't necessarily mind this read and throw. I do a C route so I can get leverage and basically get an opportunity to hit this guy because he's playing inside leverage, and I want to go ahead and just get around him and actually hit this route. I want to see if I get past it. So watch what Moore does. Moore basically kind of clears this thing out like a beast, and I think I blocked my running back, just the anticipation that maybe some blitzing comes in. So he does actually send the house against me. He's actually up and pressed, and I think what I did is I actually go ahead and threw the ball. Now if I extended that route a little bit, I probably would have had a better release, but look at that. He actually kind of deflects it, and Moore comes down with it off of the air, the ball in the air, and I get a touchdown against him. So I'll take that all day. So now I get a stop against him defensively, and this basically is a drive for me to go ahead and get in the driver's seat against this guy because he's had a hard time. And once again, if I don't see the center covered up, I'm going to try to go ahead and run that trap play. But his box was just completely filled, and everybody was just coming in the backfield. So he's just going to be very aggressive, man blitzes with the anticipation that I'm not going to be able to throw over the top his defensive backs because for the most part his defensive backs have been falling back over coverage against me. So I go ahead and jump into basically cover 4, or basically the 4 verts. And I still want to try to see if I can take a shot up top over here if I get it, but I also want to kind of build in another play that I can use. So I've got basically a corner route and basically a drag route that he's got to defend against. So blocking gets picked up right there by Swift. Actually check it down, pick up 4 yards against him. So he's just blitzing every single play. He's just using 0 blitzes against me. He's pressing, saying, hey, you want to go ahead and get me, you can do that. Hit him with a whip route. Right here, I've got a curl route right here, and really I'm kind of just checking to see this, if I can hit this curl route, but I'm also going to be looking to the whip, and this guy's going to kind of clear out over the top. So watching the curl, I don't like his user falling back into this, so I just go ahead and make my next progression right here at the whip, and you can see the defender's out leveraged. I go and pop that, and I'm able to go and pick up another first down with my speedy rookie receiver. So right here I go ahead and jump into this play because I want to try to sprinkle a little run against them. And basically what I do is I set this play up. I've got kind of a curl flat concept going over here. I got a corner over here. And my first progression is going to be this guy, because if this guy's been sending a lot of aggressive pressure against me, I want to go ahead and hit that. And I go ahead and just layer in another drag route underneath, just as another easy progression. So I just go, basically 1, 2, and then 3 as my progressions, because I have to get rid of the ball really quick because I'm under center. I do have a blocking running back. Things get picked up. I hit the curl, and I get a broken tackle by DJ Moore. And this is one of the good things about playing with the Bears and DJ Moore, is that he gets these broken tackles, he gets these great rack animations, and can get you, some cheap touchdowns and stuff like that. So the guy ended up checking out against me because he was struggling against my defense, and I'm able to go and pick up a victory. So once again, guys, thanks for your support. I'm going to be rolling with probably the Colts playbook next. Somebody building some stuff out against my Colts. So if you guys want to see how I run my schemes and how I build up my schemes and select my plays, go to my Patreon. You guys can take a look at it. So thank you for your support, guys. Until next time.